I never should have bought that laptop. It turned my life completely upside down. It all started on a late night browsing spree, the kind that often led down different rabbit holes of these obscure websites from the dark web, offering all kinds of tantalizing offers. You could find anything imaginable there, from legal to the illegal and everything in between. That's when I found it. A listing that seemed innocent enough, buried among a jumble of more questionable items. Old laptop, perfect for refurbishing, minimal wear and tear, in great working condition. The ad read, "I'm a tech enthusiast who is always looking for new projects, and this one was too good to pass on. The only reservation I had was the seller's lack of reviews, and those that existed were very vague, making it hard to tell if the product was legit. But the price was unbeatable, and I figured it was probably worth the risk." As I clicked buy now, a sense of unease immediately settled in my stomach, but I brushed it off. I needed a distraction, and the laptop seemed like the perfect little project. When the laptop finally arrived, it looked a little worn, but had a certain retro charm to it. I wiped it down, plugged it in, and powered it up. The screen flickered to life, revealing a handful of files. Most were harmless old documents, music files, and applications. But one stood out. "Do not open," it read in bold, red lettering. I hesitated, my finger hovering over the mouse. Curiosity just gnawed at me. It had to be a joke left by the previous owner. I was a seasoned hacker. I could, of course, just handle a simple file. Taking a deep breath, I clicked on it. Immediately, the screen filled with static. The sound was sharp, cutting through the silence and sending a chill down my spine. I wanted to close the laptop, but I continued watching mesmerized. The video appeared, grainy and dark. A strange-looking figure stood before the flickering candle, chanting in a language I could not understand. His voice was low and haunting. Suddenly, he turned to the camera, revealing his hollow eyes that seemed to just stare straight through me. The video then abruptly cuts off, leaving only the eerie silence. I closed the laptop, a little taken aback, but not totally shaken. "It's just a video," I whispered to myself. Nothing more. But I had no idea that the real disturbances were only about to begin in my life. The next morning, I woke up to a flood of notifications. My social media accounts were filled with strange messages, and people I hadn't talked to in years were frantically emailing me, calling me, and texting me. I was overwhelmed, trying to just make sense of it all. Then, an old school friend called, his voice sounding shaky. He asked if I was okay, saying he'd received an email with a video of me trying to hang myself. I froze in shock. "I'm sending it now," he said. The email arrived and my heart raced as I clicked on that video. It was a grainy recording of me in my living room standing beneath a noose. I watched in horror as I positioned myself to go through with it. I have no memory of this. I had never done anything like this. How could this even happen? Just then, the doorbell rang, followed by a loud banging. My stomach churned. Was it the police? Had someone reported the video? How am I going to explain any of this to them? Hesitant, I opened the door, bracing myself for a tough conversation with the police. But instead of the authorities, it was my girlfriend, Stella. Her mascara was smeared all over her face from crying, but her expression was nothing but pure fury. Without a word, she stormed in, shoving me back onto the couch. Before I could even react, she kicked her shoes off and started hitting me with it. Hard, relentless blows as I tried to shield myself. "Stella, wait! I can explain!" I pleaded. "The video was fake. I wasn't trying to do anything." She paused, her chest heavying with anger, then pulled out her phone. "Explain this then," she spat, thrusting the screen in front of my face. It was another video this time. Me sitting on the beach with a woman who clearly wasn't Stella. The two of us were laughing and flirting while she sat on my lap. Tears streamed down Stella's face. "Are you saying this is fake too?" she asked with her voice cracking. I stared at the screen dumbfounded. I didn't recognize the woman in the video, nor have I ever even been to that beach as well. None of it made sense, but before I could even form a response, Stella threw her shoe at me one last time, and then stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I was left sitting there, reeling from the sheer impossibility of it all. Then, my phone rang again. This time it was my parents. They said they'd received a news clip showing me in jail after a drunk driving accident. A news clip? Of me in jail? How could that even be possible? As I stood up in my own living room, completely bewildered, I asked myself that question. My head spun as I spent the next few hours trying to calm my friends and family down, assuring to them that I was fine and that it was just some sick prank. But was it really a prank? I reluctantly glanced at the laptop as a wave of dread washed over me. My heart pounded in my chest as I slowly approached it and opened it again. The screen flickered to life. This time all the files were gone except for two, the original Do Not Open file, and a new one, labeled Victims. My hands trembled as I clicked on Victims. A list appeared that was long and chilling. I scrolled down, each entry accompanied by photos and usernames from the dark web, people who were probably no longer alive. My blood ran cold when I saw my name. I was number 178, the most recent victim. My status was being showed as in progress. As I clicked on my folder, a photo of me appeared, along with details only someone who had been watching me would know. Some of the other usernames on this list were familiar too. People I'd seen online on the dark web and forums I frequent. I often wondered where they suddenly vanished to. Now I knew why, and I realized I might be next. Panic surged through me. I slammed the laptop shut, grabbed it, and raced out the door. I drove for a few hours until I found a secluded spot near a dumpster. I tossed the laptop out and drove over it several times to make sure that it was destroyed. For the first time in days, I felt some relief. But it didn't last long. When I returned home, my blood froze. The laptop was sitting on my desk, as if I had never left. A chill crept down my spine as I stood there, staring in horror. Paranoia consumed me. Right then I knew I had a huge problem on my hands and had to find a solution, no matter what. So I started looking online on these forums dedicated to paranormal activities and digital hauntings. Maybe, just maybe, someone else has encountered something with this or some similar experience. My fingers flew across the keyboard, typing furiously, desperate for answers. As I scrolled through hundreds of posts, I found one that caught my eye. It was headlined, "The Cursed Laptop." The poster detailed a story eerily similar to mine. After purchasing an old laptop from the dark web, he began receiving anonymous messages and videos that terrorized the user. His advice was simple but chilling. Confront it, do a cleansing ritual. So, I researched further on the dark web, uncovering an array of rituals involving salt, candles, and incantations. I gathered the supplies, feeling both foolish and desperate at the same time. As night fell, I prepared the ritual in my dimly lit apartment, following all the instructions to the letter. I lit a row of candles on each side of the room and drew a circle in the middle of the floor using salt. Once I stood inside the circle, I started the incantation. Spirits of the digital realm, I call upon you to reveal yourself, I said, my voice slightly trembling. I seek to end this torment. Nothing happened at first, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. But then the laptop flickered violently. The screen flashed and the ominous file appeared, more vivid than before. The strange figure was looking at me intently through the laptop, as if he was trying to get a measure of me. Suddenly the lights flickered, plunging the room into darkness. Even the light from the candles was being blocked from illuminating the room by some unseen powerful force. And then slowly, the candles started to spread a little bit of the light around the room, casting a creepy-looking silhouette by my side. Right then, I felt a cold and putrid breath against my neck, and a voice whisper in my ear.
You've invited me in, Anthony.
I could feel his presence just behind the salt circle, and I realized he couldn't get closer. This was the same figure that appeared on the video first when I opened the laptop, but in real he looked a lot more terrifying. He carefully stood at the edge of my vision, his dark silhouette blurring in the boundaries of reality. "What do you want?" I shouted, my voice cracking. The figure stepped closer, his face a distorted visage of rage.
You opened the door, and now you must pay the price.
Terror clawed at my insides, but I forced myself to stand my ground. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to refurbish the laptop.
It's too late for remorse,
he hissed, a chilling echo of my own fear. In that moment, I remembered the ritual. I needed to confront this entity to assert my will. I reject you. I will not be your victim. Spirits from the digital realm, I command you to leave, I shouted at the top of my lungs. The temperature dropped sharply, and the shadows lengthened. I felt a tug of war between my will and the spirit's malevolent force, as everything started to swirl around me. The figure roared in anger, while the screen flickered wildly as it struggled against my command. Suddenly, my room was plunged into complete darkness, and the power was returned a few seconds later. When my gaze shifted toward the table, I realized that the laptop was gone. It had disappeared. Finally, out of my life for good. Thank God and the Holy Spirits. After that day, I changed all of my electronic devices. Yes, I replaced every single one of them. I even deleted my email and the other online accounts, and opened completely new ones. I didn't want to leave anything to chance. In fact, it had been over 3 months since I had visited the dark web, and I don't plan on visiting anytime soon. Then I also did manage to get back with my girlfriend Stella. Somehow I was able to convince her of my innocence. So, one day while we were on vacation and having a good time, a message suddenly appeared on my phone, attached with a single folder. My hands trembled as I stared at that screen, heart pounding. The folder's name flashed at me in a bold red lettering. Do not open. I know that I've been gone for a little bit, and I just, if anybody on here follows me on Instagram, I posted a little story about it. I needed to step away for a little bit. I'm not 100%, and I don't know when I will be, but I'm trying to get back into all of it. So, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did and you would like to see more like this, make sure to like, comment, and if you're new to this channel, hopefully you will consider subscribing, or any of you turning on those post notifications. Make sure to check out the links in the description as well, like Twitter, Instagram, everything like that, including my Gmail if you want to submit a story. I've got a lot of content and a lot more coming, I promise that. But with that being said, stay safe, stay scary, and I'll see you in the next one.